Welcome to the Patriot Barbie Podcast. I'm your host, Lindsey Graham, author and conservative activist. I love Jesus. I love America. I'm a proud wife, mom of 3, and I'm having bold and witty conversations with America's patriots, the ones that cancel culture desperately want to blacklist. Trust me, I've been there. In 2020, I defied government lockdowns in Oregon, reopened my salon, and became an icon of freedom. I've been targeted by government and raging liberals every day since, and I refuse to back down. Patriots, I'm here to tell you, your values are worth fighting for. The Patriot Barbie Podcast starts now. All right, guys, welcome to the Patriot Barbie Podcast. I have a special guest with me here today. I'm trying to remember when we first met. I'm going to read his bio because, to be perfectly honest, I was like, hey, Justin, you want to come on my podcast? He's cool. He's badass. He works out. He's a patriot. And then he sent me his bio, and I was like, dude, you're kind of important. I didn't realize. So his bio reads like this. Justin Cross is a U.S. Navy veteran turned aerospace engineer turned entrepreneur. Justin was an award-winning aerospace engineer working within classified flight test programs on Edwards Air Force Base, California. When he decided to venture off on his own, he sold his newly built home, ditched his master's degree 3 classes shy of graduating, and moved his family out of state to pursue a life of entrepreneurship. Since founding the company Earn Your Booze in 2017, Justin and his company have been featured in Men's Health Magazine, Small Business Journal, Chilled Magazine, Liquor.com, and more. Like I said, important. Justin found a niche creating fitness events, programs, and apparel for some of the world's largest spirit brands such as Milagro Tequila, Hendrick's Gin, Absolute Vodka, Kettle One Vodka, Bullet, I think we'll probably say that, Bullet, yep. Bullet Bourbon, and more. Always looking for ways to spread his, quote, earn it mentality. Justin is now launching earnitall.com as the parent company of Earn Your Booze, along with an online Earn It All Academy, coaching group, and corporate wellness with industry experts such as Gunnar Peterson, Bobby Maximus, Jennifer Wheeler, and Adam Jeremiah. In 2023, next year, yep. Earn It All will be joining and featuring NFL teams and players who, as Justin says, define what it truly means to earn it all on and off the field. Dude, we're like buddies, and you're like this kind of important figure.
It's just my life.
This is crazy. Well, yeah. as I was reading your bio, I remembered where we met. We met at the C4 Fundraiser Foundation with Josh Scott,
yes,
right? Yeah,
absolutely.
And you had someone was wearing an Earn Your Wine tank top, and I was like, I don't know who you are, but I love wine, so we need to be friends.
That's right. We need to be friends now.
So yeah. You're are you friends with Josh Scott, or do you guys work together, or is it just that friends?
Yeah, we met a while back, business connections, you know,
okay,
and I ended up emceeing his country concert. I think you were at that as well.
I was there, yeah, at Hidden Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember going, dude, this guy is everywhere.
I do happen to find myself appearing everywhere.
Yes,
you know?
yes,
it's kind of fun.
Huh?
But yeah, Josh is a great guy. He's been a big supporter of Earn Your Booze and me personally. Mm-hmm. So we're actually working on some stuff now that we might be able to announce here in the near future.
You can't announce it today.
Anything I can do with Josh
air
is
for
great.
A few weeks, so
okay, we'll see. Yeah.
I'll get it off the record. I'll tell you guys. And then we were also at the barbecue it was supporting the police. What was that one? It was that first time they did it at the lake.
Oh, that's
Dylan's.
right. Yeah, it was with Paul.
So we've been at quite a few events together.
Yeah, so I do my own events as well, but ones that we always try to attend and support happen to always support military, first responders, veterans, something like that.
Of course,
so
good. That's your jam.
It's no surprise we keep running into each other. Right?
Yeah. So the question I had asked, like when I first met you, and I'm still asking, is like, what is Earn Your Wine, Earn Your Booze, Earn Your Beer, Earn Your Tequila, whatever. You've got all the earn your, name it, earn your tacos.
Right.
What is it?
So the concept for Earn Your Booze started for me when I was in the Navy, right?
Okay.
Had to be in shape. You know, I always wanted to be at the top shape too. But then you never really wanted to like miss out on a port call or a good party or anything. So there's plenty of drinking, right? We're sailors.
Girls and drinks.
That's right. Yeah. Girls, drinks, plenty of cussing.
What year was this? What year were you in the military?
02 to 06.
02 to 04. Okay. And how old were you then?
I got out of the Navy when I was still 22.
Okay.
So I did 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, right
Thank
after high
you for
school.
that, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. So the concept started there. I had to be in shape, and I was always drinking because I was a sailor, right?
Yeah.
So afterwards, I got into aerospace, like you mentioned. But then after a while, I started to get in with First Form, which is a supplement company.
Okay, yeah.
And I was also brewing beer. And at one point, I was like, you know what? I ended up moving here to open a brewery, actually.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
So it wasn't to do Earn Your Booze at first.
Yeah.
So we moved here, and I started to help like beer bloggers, beer brewers, brewery owners like Brian Helton, and guys like that, like kind of start to lose the beer gut,
right,
and feel better working in that industry, you know, which is no shortage of free drinks and late night food. And, you know, it's a very unhealthy life if you let it get to you, right? So that's kind of where I found my niche. And I was like, you know what? I could help a lot more people if I wasn't just doing one-on-one, if I made this like a thing.
A community.
You know? I was like, let's just do more with this.
Yeah.
So kind of overnight, I wrote a business plan for events and like helping people one-on-one still or in group settings, apparel, and we launched Earn Your Booze.
Sweet. So do you own a gym facility, or do you go to gyms and you
partner we partner with all sorts of venues. So like Salt River Fields, where the Diamondbacks and Rockies play, we partner with them. We've partnered with hotels, gyms, bars, you name it.
So cool.
So it's nice because we don't have to have a facility.
I'm gonna go work out at the bar. That sounds like a great Saturday.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Maybe do some yoga, you know, have some drinks.
So do you do the workout and then you're like, all right, you all get to reward because you earned your booze. Do you guys go drink afterward?
Pretty much, yeah. Okay. So yeah, exactly.
That sounds like awesome.
So like you were asking, like, you know, like we want people to take better care of themselves, especially those who drink.
Yeah.
So an event is a great way for people to feel what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because they get to sweat, they're moving, they're with other like-minded people. They're like, oh, okay, wow, I get it. And then there's awesome drinks, and then you meet new friends and, you know, get new phone numbers, and like, oh yeah, I get it. This is how my life should be in a nutshell.
Right.
Take better care of myself, still have some fun, and then get back to earning it some more.
So you kind of made a community out of, I don't want to say like out of drinkers, but you made a community out of people who drink, and now they've got like their people that they work out with, and yeah, that's awesome.
And it's pretty amazing because we've met people all across the spectrum. Some people drink a ton and they need us to help them kind of slow down to get healthy.
Yeah.
Other people on the other end of the spectrum, like maybe bodybuilders or someone like that, they're working so hard on themselves all the time with chicken, broccoli, rice, and water that they need to relax a little bit. It is okay to have a drink every now and then, you know? Yeah. So it's a little bit different for everybody, but it's basically that work hard, play hard kind of 2.0.
So this is kind of great timing that I have you on because I am currently on week 2 of completely clean eating.
Awesome.
So my husband, I don't know if you know this, but my husband used to be a personal trainer.
Okay.
And he retired. Well, he retired when we lost all of our businesses in Oregon.
Yeah.
But so he knows how to, if I say, hey, I'm ready to get serious about this, it's literally the chicken and broccoli and rice, the egg whites and oatmeal. Right. So I can relate to this because when we moved to Arizona, it was like, you know, Oregon rains 300 days a year. It really does.
Really?
Like, we're not joking. It rains 300 days a year.
That's too much. Huh?
In the summer, it's like, it's risky. Don't have a wedding outdoors. So we moved to Arizona. We got a pool. It's hot all the time. It was like, oh, it felt like vacation. Oh, I'm going to lay by the pool. I'm going to have a beer. I'm going to have another beer. I'm going to have another beer. All right, it's nighttime. I'm going to have a glass of wine. It got to be where we weren't alcoholics. We were just casually drinking every single day. And I was like, okay, I thought that when I moved to Arizona, I would get more active and be like ripped like the people in Bend, Oregon. But it turns out I'm actually gaining weight because I'm drinking. So the time has finally come where I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat clean. And, you know, the mentality, earn your booze is there because, you know, we know that you can work out and be dedicated, but you can't be that hardcore as a lifestyle. It's like impossible to abstain that long without mentally kind of breaking yourself.
Right.
So I love the idea that you get out there, you live a healthy lifestyle, because I hate the word diet. Right. And I hate the fad diets and all that. Here. And then you know, at the end of my month of eating clean, I get a cheat meal and I'm going to have all the wine in the world. And I will know that I earned my wine.
That's right. Yeah. Fitness isn't like your profession.
Yeah.
When people train like it is, they don't like their life.
Right.
You know, like if someone doesn't want to get on stage, why eat super hard like that all the time? Like,
right.
Then they end up not liking what they do, and it kind of carries over into other parts. You
know? And you kind of be like we're talking about the social aspect of it. You become kind of antisocial,
right?
Because you go to events where people are drinking, and you're like, well, why would I go? I can't drink. Yeah. And then you kind of go, well, that's not really healthy, right? That I would only go to an event where I could, if I'm not drinking, it's not worth it.
Right.
Who are my friends?
Right.
And a lot of people have created a lifestyle around drinking. So it's like to be able to separate yourself from that and go, hey, I can be, you know, dedicated a certain amount of time and then allow myself that glass of wine because I earned it is fantastic.
That's right. Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you're doing it.
What kind of events do you put on?
So we do anything under the earn and anything under the booze.
Okay.
So earn could be, we've done everything from CrossFit to 5Ks, boot camp, yoga, Pilates, like you name it, any sort of physical activity, even some hiking.
Okay.
And then booze, it depends like who we are supporting at the time, or rather who's supporting us, like sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
So we've worked with liquor brands, wine brands, beer brands, you name it. So we just find the right combination that, fits everybody.
Yeah.
Like if the venue, for example, is, if we're doing a yoga event, chances are you're not going to want to do scotch, right?
It's going to be a bunch of chicks, possibly.
Yeah, and maybe cigars. It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
So we basically just make sure our themes basically always come together. So sometimes it could be like, CrossFit and tequila. And other times it could be yoga and mimosas and light beers.
Sounds heavenly. How have I not been at any of these events? Are they local?
Yeah.
They're all in Phoenix. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to have to get on the
We started right here in Phoenix, and we have an event manager now who spent 27 years in the NFL. And so she is setting up events all over the place.
So amazing.
So yeah, we're basically just taking this thing where we started it here in Arizona. And just like I said earlier, we know how to get people to like really see what we're talking about by having them come to an event. So we're taking them outside of Arizona.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Yeah. So is the brewery thing still going to happen, or are you like you're all in for earn it all?
I'm all in for this now. Yeah.
No brewery.
I don't think I would do a brewery, and I'm actually kind of glad that I did not. But I would love to have like a nice cocktail bar with like a gym attached to it, something like that.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, I'm already trying to think of names for you.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
The creative part's the fun part.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so tell me about. Gosh, there's so much to unpack just in you, like being an aerospace engineer. I mean. What was that like? What did you see? I don't even think I even know what an aerospace engineer is. Like, you do crazy stuff. Yeah, tell me.
All right. So in the Navy, I worked on fighter jets. So you've seen the new Top Gun?
Heck yeah, I've seen it. That was a good movie.
So the original Top Gun had F-14 fighter jets. And those are the first jets that I worked on. Okay. The one that
Maverick stole in the very end, right? He stole like the old one.
Oh, I actually haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So now I do want to see it even more.
Okay, well, they might have stolen one. Okay.
Yeah, so basically I worked on jets in the Navy.
Okay.
Then afterwards, I was going to come back here and go to ASU, but I got an offer to work at Lockheed Martin, which is the world's largest defense contractor.
Okay.
Out in California, which I wanted to leave California, but got a good job. Went through college and everything. But what we were doing out there is basically taking brand new fighter jets like the F-22 and the F-35. And our job was to find the true like limits of everything that the plane can do, how fast it can go, how many G-forces it can handle, test new weapons, new software. We tested out the stealth capabilities, even tires, like all this stuff. And the reason we did that is because we were working on those jets and testing them before the actual military got them.
Okay.
So when we gave them to an Air Force or a Navy fighter pilot, we said, okay, here are the true limits. After this, it's like very dangerous. Don't go past this.
Right. Okay.
So we would get the planes brand new, and we would have, they were instrumentated. They had microphones, recording data all over them. So we'd send them up and do whatever kind of flight we were doing. And afterwards, we'd have the real brainiacs look at the binary 1s and 0 code and see, okay, well, did it work? How can we push faster? Can we push harder? How, we push the envelope, it's called.
So did pilots go up in these planes to test them, or are you saying it's all computerized? Yeah.
So
that's a dangerous job.
It's a very dangerous job.
We might push you past, so you could die.
It's true. It happened.
You need to see the new Top Gun, by the way.
I definitely will.
Now that we're having this exact conversation.
Okay. I definitely will.
Yeah.
We did. We actually lost a pilot while I was working on F-22s. It was pulling a very dangerous maneuver, couldn't recover and hit the ground.
That's so sad.
Yeah. So anyways, that's what we did. So when you hear of like a new jet or a new technology or anything that comes out, chances are it's already been tested for 10 to 20 years, especially if it's on airplanes.
Wow.
So we are in these classified compounds where you had to swipe to get in every gate and every door and everything. And we were basically figuring out what these planes could actually do and then giving them to the Air Force to go use and
then Maverick could take it and push it past the limits.
And then Maverick can probably go still too far. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So what in the world would make you leave that for like entrepreneurship? This has got to be a dramatic story, because I know everyone that knows my story knows that I lost my businesses. So that's a whole, I had to restart, but you chose to start over. So what in the world?
A lot of people thought it was crazy for sure. But basically what happened is I did well in it, and I advanced, and I was getting, promotions and everything. And I eventually applied for the next like job above me, a management position. And afterwards, the director calls me and he goes, "Hey, you killed it. I want to hire you." I was like, "Sweet, cool, let's do this." Right? He goes, "However, HR says you need another 10 to 15 years experience on top of your 15 years experience.
Oh my gosh.
You have the degree, you have everything. You won the interview. We know you would kill this job, but I legally
you get it in 15
can't
years?
hire you. Yeah. So basically I was like,
that's a long wait.
Yeah. So
like
at that
50?
Yeah. So at that point I was like, well, what am I going to do?
Right.
Am I going to sit here for 10, 15 years just to get that kind of job? And it was a very quick hell no.
Right.
So I ended up, that was it. I said, I'm not doing this. And I left.
And you left to come here to start the brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of during that time, I had been talking with a guy about opening a brewery out here.
Mm-hmm.
So the wheels are always kind of in motion. Like I grew up with my dad having me read like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and, you know, entrepreneurship books and everything. Yeah. So I've always wanted to do that. But, you know, right out of the Navy, had good money, good benefits, good comfort and security with the job, fun job, you know.
Yeah.
So it held me in a lot longer than I ever thought it would.
Right.
But eventually when that came, that was the light switch. And I was like, well,
it's like sitting there waiting for someone to give you permission to succeed.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I'm not doing that.
And then who's to say in 15 years when you're like, I put my 15 years, they're like, ooh, that guy doesn't even work here anymore. The guy that promised you the job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of scary.
Yeah. So basically there was a ceiling that I was unwilling to play with. And so I was like, I'm going to go out on my own and either make a better ceiling or fail or whatever, but I don't care. I'm not going to sit here and have someone else hold me back.
Right. No kidding.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What other kind of stuff do you have? Geez, you got kids. I wanted to talk to you about that when I read your bio. Family man, wife, wife, daughter, 3-year-old. I met her.
Yeah.
She wore my pretty little Patriot.
She's going to be 4 soon. Gianna Liberty.
Gianna Liberty?
Yep. That's her.
That is precious.
Gianna Liberty Cross.
That is so amazing. Yeah. Okay. So you're juggling all of this while also being a dad. What kind of dad are you?
I try to be very present with her.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I've seen your videos. You like track her around to most of your stuff.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, I wish I could do that. I have 3 though. So
yeah. I love taking her on stage at an event. Or, you know, we just went hiking and swimming in a creek the other day. You know, right before I left, she was home with the sniffles today. So she's like, can we go swimming? And I was like, when I get home, you know?
Yeah. I gotta go interview.
Yeah, it's so important, I think, because I've been able to see with her. I have 2 stepdaughters also. They're 21 and 22.
Okay.
But I didn't get to raise them from like real little like I did Gianna, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen with the little one how much just a little bit of direct attention really does make a big difference.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Like you could say something, but if you're not really in it and not really, you know, meaning it, they feel that.
Right.
But when you get in their face and you're looking right at them, you're talking with them, there's a connection there.
Yes.
And I'm just addicted to that now because I know she is as well.
She's
and I think that's why
it.
she's always latching on to me.
Yeah.
And daddy.
They are seeking. And you know what? It's such a struggle because, you know, you and I both have businesses that we have to promote. And that means social media and Facebook. And, you know, we're always connecting people and booking things. And so you're on your phone. And it's so hard because like right now it's the summertime. The kids are at home.
Yeah.
And they're seeing me on my phone and I'm like, I'm working. I'm not playing like Bejeweled Blitz or something stupid.
Yeah, for real.
But that's all they see. And I have to make a conscious effort, and I'm sure you do too, when you hear, well, you don't hear mommy, you hear daddy, but when you hear that, you're like, yes, how can I help you? As opposed to like, what? Because I know that I've gotten wrapped up in whatever it is, the project that I'm doing, and heard mommy, and I'm like, what? And then they'll tell me something, and I'll say, and they're like, I can? And I'm like, whoa, what did I just agree to?
Yeah, exactly.
But there have been times where I've maxed myself out on social media or whatever it is I'm doing project-wise. And I'm like, I just don't want my phone today. Put it away. And I get such a satisfying feeling all day when I don't look at my phone and I just pay attention to my kids and I look in their eyes and I see their expressions and the cute things they do. And the only time I grab my phone is to take a video because I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so precious.
Right.
But it's hard. It's hard to raise kids and have a business. But like that's kind of the culture that America is right now. You're either working a 9 to 5, so you're not present at all.
Right.
Or you're a business owner and you're at home, but you're kind of like juggling, paying attention to your kids and also getting those hours in.
I think being an entrepreneur is actually kind of great for being a parent because we get to show the kids a lot more instead of just telling them, you know, and we don't have as many hours, you know, with somebody else teaching the kids.
Right.
Because Gianna's going to be 4 next month and, we don't really plan on sending her to school, like per se. Like,
are you gonna? Oh yeah, because she's only 4.
Yeah, but
it's like you're gonna homeschool.
Even when she gets a little older, we are thinking of like small group homeschool.
Yeah.
You know, because why not?
Right.
Who's better to teach our kids than us?
Should we get into the politics of the school system and how? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so many things that I know we've all seen recently that I'm actually kind of like glad that we've seen it because I have this little one and I'm like, well, she's not going to go through that crap.
No.
You know?
Yeah. So being from Oregon, I have a lot of followers that are still from Oregon. And so I'll see what they're posting, and I'd like to think that there's still areas of America that are protected, but a lot of what I'm seeing still in like crazy liberal Oregon is, I just saw something today where they have, it's called a something closet. It's like an acceptance closet. It's basically where kids who may identify, it's gender affirmation closet. So kids who may not feel that they can be the gender that they want to be at home, right, can come to school like their parents might approve, and then go into the closet, which is full of makeup, wigs, multi-gender clothing, accessories, and they can change into the gender that they want at school so that they can feel appropriated, and then switch so their parents don't have to know. So the government right now is purposefully lying to parents, purposely creating a division between like what you learn at home, what your parents teach you is not as important as what we think that you should be at school. They're like dividing kids from their parents.
Sure.
It's terrifying. So when you say you're going to homeschool your daughter, I'm kind of like, yeah, that's a really great way to make sure she doesn't get indoctrinated. Yeah,
I mean, that to me, that's absurd.
It is absurd.
You know, isn't it usually like, hey, what does little Billy like to eat or whatever? Don't they like usually take advice or directions from the parents?
Yes.
Now that they've completely flipped it.
Yeah. Trying to take it from us.
Wild.
Yeah. So it's hard to be a parent in this day and age and be a business owner, but
yeah.
So what's next for Earn Your? You got so much going on, man. You got like life insurance thing going. You got an agency that you're launching. Mm-hmm. What's you just spoke at Lions Not Sheep at the Lions Den, didn't you?
Yeah.
What was that about?
Yeah, Sean invited me up to speak, and
Sean Whalen. Call him right now. I want to talk to him.
Yeah. I got to kind of share some of my story here.
Yeah.
And I gave I think 5 tactical tips for people that might be wanting to leave their job to do something for entrepreneurship, and some things they need to keep in mind. Right?
Okay, will you give us those 5 tactical tips? I'm gonna write them down.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have them memorized?
I probably have them memorized.
Okay, let's test you.
Yeah. So number 1 is make a great plan.
Make a great plan. Okay.
Research whatever the industry is that you want to get into. Look at the history of it, the supply chain, where people think it's going. Really understand what you are getting into and make a great plan around it.
Okay, love it.
Step 2, now that you have that great plan, be prepared to throw that plan right in the trash.
Oh, well, okay. I was not expecting that. I was like, instigate, activate. Nope, throw it in the trash.
That's right.
Throw the plan in the
be
trash.
prepared to.
Okay, oh, gotcha, okay.
Mm-hmm. Be prepared to throw it in the trash because, as an entrepreneur, our job is basically to figure things out, adapt, overcome, evolve. You never know what's coming our way. The government, a pandemic, or just a business deal, or just something didn't pan out the way it was. So do step 1 and step 2, but be ready for that.
Okay.
Number 3 was don't lose your family along the way. So
you're too smart.
Yeah, you know how important it is to put a lot of time into the business to make sure it doesn't fail, and it always needs more time, more money, more attention. But you have to take care of the family along the way. So come home tired, stressed, whatever. Make sure that the kids and the family, the spouse, they still feel you.
Yeah.
And so
if you're doing it for them, don't lose them to do it.
Yeah,
what great is the successful business if you don't have a family to share it with later?
Exactly. Because it's not good enough to say like, oh, I'm going to make a ton of money someday and then I'll take everyone to Jamaica, buy them all a bunch of nice stuff. Like, no, you're not going to have them by the time that happens if it happens.
That's right.
So you have to stick together all the way through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's,
awesome.
I think that's a very important one. Let's see. Then another one was, let's see. Man, that was number 3.
We better go watch the Lions Den. Do you remember 5?
Yeah. So number 5 is basically just start now. It's basically don't overthink it. Go, whatever it is. If you want to start your business, go start your social media accounts, follow your LLC, get your business bank account, start talking about it, and you have to get attention on you. So just start putting stuff out there.
Yeah.
Let people know that this is what you do. And you just have to start somewhere, because you might be thinking, well, hey, what if it doesn't work out? What if I put all this time into it and it fails? Well, are you going to regret that more? Or are you going to regret it more if you don't?
If you never tried it.
Yeah. Because before you know it, you're going to be at retirement age. And then that thing you always wanted to do never happened. And you'll be looking at your bank account and your life and everything. And you'll be like, man, I wish I had done that.
What if is like the worst question to ask? What if?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, so avoid that.
In the, everything gets political with me. I just can't help it. But being being a business owner previously in 2020 and being locked down, I recognized that I had so many freedoms as a business owner when they said, you know, you need to lock down, you need to mask up.
Yeah.
And I had the freedoms to say, oh, I'm not gonna comply with that. I'm not gonna force masks on my customers, all that.
Right.
And now we've got vaccine mandates and people are being forced to get it and they're getting hurt. If you're stuck in a job, if you're under the rule of your employer who's like, hey, you know, this is what the government says, I got to follow it. You're a slave your whole life. And to go out and do something big for yourself where you are your own boss is freeing because you're never going to have to answer to anyone else. And the way the slippery slope that we're going down is really alarming. I would hate to, in a year or 2 years, find that, you know, vaccines were mandatory for my whole family because I was under an employer that said, oh, now that's the new law. You never know what the government's going to come up with.
Right.
So there's so much freedom in having your own business. And that should be, I think that should be a motivator for a lot of people.
Yeah, totally. Now. You know, like back to Sean, he has one of my favorite churches says free man or free woman, right? Like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
You know? And we're not in the old days talking about slavery, but what does it mean in these days to be free?
Right.
And it's essentially what you said. If you can get up at any time and go wherever you want, have the means to do it, and you're not beholden to anybody, you don't have to ask permission. You just do it.
Yeah.
I think that's what it means today to be free.
Absolutely.
You know, and you really can't do that if you're tied to a 9 to 5 and you have, you know, you're going to get fired, you know, and all that. So
you don't do as you're told.
Yeah. If you can basically blaze your own way and support yourself and your own family, I think that is how we are essentially free.
Yep. My children, I don't remember what we were talking about. I think it was yesterday, but they asked, what does freedom mean? And I went, oh my gosh, this is like a moment where I get to define freedom for my children.
Right.
And it's such a tender subject for kids because you don't want them to think freedom means, oh, well, I can steal cookies from the cookie jar because that's my freedom to do it.
Right.
So I said it's the ability to make decisions for yourself, the ability to think for yourself and then act on those thoughts as long as they are, I say, morally appropriate. Because right now, the law isn't always equivalent to my morality, I've discovered in the last 2 years. And so, being able to make your own medical decisions, your own, you know, financial decisions, freedom in being an entrepreneur. So
isn't it funny how that's always been like the case, right? Like that was just kind of the way it was. But now if you say that, that's controversial somehow.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
weird.
Isn't that weird?
I tend to be a controversial person.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You should be. You should be, because then you're not just blatantly following laws and rules and, you know, guidelines and stuff. Like a lot of people are, obviously.
Yeah.
They're just following whatever the hell comes out from whatever 3-letter organization that they trust, and they're just doing it seemingly with no actual thought behind it.
Right.
You know. So
do you have you know, what's your stand? Like, is Earn Your Booze, freedom is earned, obviously. Are you on a political platform? Do you align yourself politically, or obviously you don't try to keep quiet about it. Some people are like, oh, I'm a conservative, but don't, you know, let's keep that on the DL. Do you, I guess being at veterans and police events and all those things, you kind of have a status. So what is Earn It All and Earn Your Booze's status on like freedom and lockdowns and mandates and patriotism and America? Yep.
So when the lockdowns happened, my friend Jeff Mahaffey here in Scottsdale owns the self-made training facilities. You know, if you know those gyms.
I don't.
And then I knew of Ian Smith, who I now know in Jersey.
Yep.
When I saw this happening, I was already in like the fitness space, right? And I was like, all right, if there is a pandemic of health going around, the best thing to do is keep your body active, keep your immune system up, and just keep moving. And the fact they were shutting the gyms down, I was like, this is completely insane.
Makes no sense.
It makes sense. It's insane. So we basically started a shirt called Legalize Lifting.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
And I never imagined I would actually have to do that, right? Legalize lifting. I was like, you know, my whole life, I was like, I can always go to the gym, no matter how shitty the day is, no matter what's going on, I can go to the gym. Well, when that happened, I was just like, all right, this is not going to happen. So I launched a shirt called Legalize Lifting, and then I teamed up with James Stratman from Peak Nutrition, and we basically used funds from that to give back to personal trainers and gym owners and stuff that were struggling.
That's
they
awesome.
Were shut down. They lost their livelihood. So at that point, to answer your question, I was like, all right, well, am I going to sit here quietly, or what am I going to do? And I was like, no, like why would I? What is the point?
Yeah.
You know, like,
everyone's been quiet.
I've never sat here quietly. There's somebody wearing my shirt down there on the
street.
No
way. We're in front of a window recording and someone's wearing an Earn Your Booze shirt.
That is so funny.
Oh, I wish we could throw rocks down at him. Oh,
yeah, that's great. Yeah, so that was like kind of our first time kind of like, getting into those waters because, for Earn Your Booze and Earn It All in general, like we're for everybody. We want everybody to work harder and earn more in life. Mm-hmm. That mentality does happen to mostly resonate with one side, right? Because the other side, is kind of more looking for direction. They want other people to lead them. They want maybe handouts, and they're cool with, incentive checks and stuff like that. So we're not saying that we're political,
right?
But it just so happens that the people that mostly resonate with what we talk about with hard work and earning things in life,
right.
Happen to think a certain way politically, and typically leaning right.
Right. And so I'm 100% with you because I was very apolitical before 2020 when I defied lockdowns. I saw massive hate from the left and massive support from the right. And my brain could not comprehend that the right to work was like controversial politically.
Right.
It was very, very eye-opening for me. But I think the word that came to mind when you were talking was personal accountability. And working out is personal accountability.
Totally.
Eating right is personal. No one's going to do that for you. Right. So when your body is healthy, you did that yourself. Mm-hmm. You made choices to create that health in yourself.
Right.
Personal accountability. The left doesn't have it. They don't want it.
Right.
That's why they push, you wear your mask, you take care of me. And it's like, wait a second, hold on. I've never had the mentality that other people are responsible for my well-being, for my wealth, for my health, for my success ever.
That's right.
I've had personal accountability. I was raised that way, and I'm sure you were too. And I think that key term is the difference between the left and the right. It's with the vaccine mandates and the mask mandates and the pro-life and pro-choice. It's like, you take care of you. I take care of me. You clearly take care of you. We've got personal accountability. Me opening my business, me working, me wanting to take care of myself for myself, it should not be controversial. And yet it is, because their mentality is everyone else needs to do what I say they need to do,
right,
so that I'm healthy.
Right.
It's like, wait a second, you're literally eating McDonald's while you're telling me this.
No, it's absurd. Yeah.
Between your lifting your mask and eating a Big Mac.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the icing on the cake moments for me was when we had a Karen on Instagram going off because I was talking about winning and just earning that trophy and just earning the next level in life. And she was specifically mad about how we were always trying to win, and we were promoting that. And I thought about that for a minute, and I was laughing at her initially, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, what does the mind of a person who's against a winning mentality have to think? What does that person stand for,
Right.
And the more I kind of dug into it, I was like, well, she doesn't like winning mentality. She doesn't like hard work and stuff because she truly probably doesn't believe in that. Mm-hmm. She thinks that things should just be handed to her. Things should be easy. People should just go with the flow. And, and we're kind of like the black sheep, stepping away from that whole herd. So she was trying to like pull us back. And I was like, interesting.
Well, and winning,
no,
someone that wins, guess what they did? They earned a trophy. Mm-hmm. They earned a status. They earned attention, whatever it is they earned, or that person thinks they earned.
Yeah.
It makes them feel like a lesser person, because they didn't win, or they've never won, or they have no intention of winning anything ever.
They're jealous.
Yeah, and it's the same like socialist concept that we are all on this equal playing field, and we are created equal in the image of God. Mm-hmm. But when we get here, what we do with our life is, we measure and we create our own success. And people that are anti-winning, to me, it's like you were raised with the idea that you don't have to do anything to earn equality with anyone.
Right.
You should not pursue anything bigger, because that makes me feel like less of a person. Yeah. I could never imagine suppressing other people's success, any other human. And this is coming from the party of equality and inclusivity and love. And it's like, wait, but you want me to fail so that you feel better?
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Yeah, exactly. No, that is at the core of like Earn It All. Like it's everything has to be earned, even like respect. Like when someone says, well, do you respect this person or that person? Like, I don't know. Like, has that person earned my respect?
Yes,
Who is this person? Like, what have you done to earn my respect? It's not just a blanket, everyone's respected. And like, as much as that sounds nice, like, no.
Well, and that's what they say too. It's always, you need to respect my this, and you need to respect my pronouns, and you need to respect my this and my that. And it's like, I don't have to respect anything.
No.
It would be nice if I did, but if it goes against my moral beliefs, my moral guidelines, my values, I shouldn't respect it because that disrespects my own mantra.
And the thing that's cool about America is like, even if you just don't feel like it, like you don't even have to have like a, you know, a religious, you know, reason. It's just like, no, I think that's dumb.
Yep. That's called
just
freedom.
My point.
That's freedom, people. I don't have to like it.
Yeah.
I have the freedom to
and
not like it.
Everyone's fine to not like each other after that, but whatever.
And what is the deal with, you know, let's say we say, no, I'm not going to respect your pronouns. Why is their whole identity in what I feel or if I respect your pronouns? If you're secure in yourself, like if you're secure in who you are and your success and your level of acceptance of yourself, you don't need me to respect it.
Right.
I don't need anyone to respect what I do, or I love it when they do, sure. But I think we have a self-esteem problem too that we obviously don't have a problem with. But
no, absolutely, they're lacking confidence, and they're looking for other people to validate themselves, and it's not going to happen. You might find like a small group of people that think just like you, that like, sure, you can kind of prop each other up, you know, and get into this group think thing where everything that everyone says in the group is cool because it's, you know, we all think the same way. But when you have someone on the outside, they lose their world over it, and it's like, no, it shows you don't have any self-respect,
right?
You don't have any confidence. And it just comes down to the individual. Like Andy Frisella always says, it's one of my favorite things I hear these days. It's like everything comes back to personal excellence. Like you have to work on yourself and stand as like a beacon of personal excellence. And it's not for anyone else. It's for you.
Interesting. Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So who cares what other people say? If you love you, when what you do and what you stand for, you don't need anybody else to pat you on the back or kind of like, you know, affirm that, yes, you're doing a good job or anything. You don't need that.
Yep. What do you think that there was a way that your parents raised you or something that they did? I mean, I feel like you're probably doing it with your daughter, that whole, like, I'm going to sit down and connect with her and teach her that I love her for exactly who she is. Do you think that your parents did that for you? And that's how you kind of became like a, hey, you know, I'm confident in who I am. I've earned it. I'm going to be successful. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad, especially on the business side, was always having me read those books. And at the time he was do you ever know Amway?
Yeah.
He was in Amway, and, you know, think about whatever you want about MLM.
Oh my gosh.
But I drove around with him listening to those, tapes at the time, cassettes, you know, of like motivational speakers that were talking about, you know, these big thinking ideas, you know, like becoming a bigger person and earning more in life. And it just, that part really ingrained in me just from countless hours in the car and reading his books.
You were indoctrinated to be successful.
Yeah. I guess that's bad, right?
I don't know.
And then like my mother, she's a very caring, supportive person no matter what we wanted to do. And they were both teachers, so they had the summers off, so we got to travel a bit, you know, and spend good time together. And both of my parents, I could look back at any point and just be like, yeah, they were always there for me.
Yeah.
They were always willing to help me, listen to me, even when I was being a complete jackass, you know, like, so they were always present, which is, like I said earlier, why one of the reasons I want to be so present with my daughter is kids need that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not just to learn stuff. It's just to feel that leadership, you know, they need leaders, you know, they want to be presided over until they get their own feet, you know, their ground under their feet and they find out who they are.
Yep. The nuclear family is, and even just not even, I mean, I can't condemn divorced couples. I mean, it happens. Things happen often. But like the family mentality, I have a parent who loves me no matter what. They love me for exactly who I am. They love me, like you said, when you're being a little jackass.
Yeah.
I think that we're losing that construct, and that's why we're getting these little crazy liberal millennials who are entitled to everything because their parents did not teach them, I love you no matter what. You are loved for exactly who you are.
Look at some of these kids on the college campuses, like at least in videos I see. So I know it's through a certain lens sometimes, but it's like the thing that commonly comes to mind is, did your parents teach you anything?
Yeah.
Like anything? Or did you just kind of like grow up and then you were 17, you got shooed off to college and that's it? Like, did you not learn anything as a child?
I think it's possible. I mean, some of the arguments that they make, and I know that we probably both follow more conservative people who are asking these questions on college campuses. It's like they truly believe I can say and do whatever I want, and you have to respect it. If you don't, I can name call you and slander you. But I believe that I have that authority. I'm entitled to that. And so it makes you think, okay, their entire childhood, were they just like running free like little Mowglis in the forest, and they got to do whatever they want? So they literally do believe that they're entitled to everything.
And it's very interesting too, because they're like on the left, right? And what hasn't that historically been the, the party of acceptance and like, sharing other people's viewpoints, the free speech in the colleges and everything, and they've completely abandoned that.
Right. They have free speech as long as you're saying what they want to hear.
Yeah, that's the thing. So exactly. So it's like, well, wait a minute. Apparently no one has ever talked about real free speech, because hearing other ideas is such an important part of making your own opinion about something. And these young kids, especially, they hear something that they don't like, or they're told is either, fill in the blank, racist, bigoted, homophobic, whatever. And they get on attack instead of listening, and they're just digging farther into this little bubble of their world. And I'm like, dude, like, that's not good.
There's like not much to say, like, dude.
It's not good.
Well, and I don't know if you've noticed, but they're starting to sort of eat themselves from the inside out. Like, like they're turning on each other, because as soon as they've got like a series of laid out beliefs that include everything except for, you and I. But if you're in that, you're in. But as soon as you go, well, I don't know about that little, one, or I don't even know about a percentage of that little one, it's like, yeah, you're out.
Right.
You've got to believe exactly as we believe, or you are no longer part of our crew. And that gives me so much hope, because as long as we, conservatives and patriots and Americans and freedom lovers don't start turning on each other, they are just going to slowly kind of fall apart, because before you know it, they're going to be so unaccepting of anybody that doesn't believe exactly. There's going to be like 5 of them.
That's right. It's already happening.
Yeah. I mean, God created us different, and to have different beliefs. And so there's no way that group of, millions of, Antifa and whatever, they can't all continue to believe exactly the same, or they'd just be one like huge bot.
Yeah, it's a big hive.
Yeah, we get to watch them just kind of crumble and fall apart.
And it's kind of great, because they keep adding things that they're supposed to like not like or like or whatever. And and it's like it just doesn't. You can't keep up, you know? And I know there's people that are probably even really far into that kind of thinking that are eventually something will come their way, and they'll be like, all right, this is a lot.
I'm done.
Yeah, like this is much. And so they, then what? Then they're like segmented into all these different floors, like an apartment building. Like what level of leftism do you believe in?
Gosh.
Like,
and when you reach the bottom floor, you're
floor
out.
5, and like, oh no, everyone below 4 or 6 is out now. Like
you're getting evicted.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's fine. Let them kind of do their own thing, and it's kind of internally implode.
I would like to be there when it like officially implodes. I would like to be there.
Yeah.
All right, you got your cheers prepared?
I do.
Okay, let's do it. Yep. Okay. I'm going to use my Earn Your Booze red Solo cup. That's not a red Solo cup. It's a permanent cup. So you brought me a cheers.
Of course I did. I can't cheers by yourself.
He brought me a cup, an Earn Your Booze cup. Can they get this somewhere on earnyourbooze.com?
Earnyourbooze.com.
Okay.
Soon to be earnitall.com, but it's still Earn Your Booze.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So we want the mics to pick this up. This is a surprise.
Yeah.
All right.
You see what it is?
It's a Puro de lo Alto.
It is a tequila seltzer, essentially.
Oh, yum. Okay.
Tequila soda.
Cheers. All right. What's the cheers, Justin?
I think the cheers today should be to people like you who have gone through a lot of BS and are refusing to still just give in, and you're finding ways to keep charging forward.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's a great cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
God bless America.
God bless America.
All right. So, Justin, for people that want to work out, drink and work out, drink then work out then drink, where do they find you? Where do they buy your awesome gear that apparently random people in Phoenix are wearing?
And right out the window. That's great.
That's so
cool. Right now it's earnyourbooze.com.
Okay.
Then the next week or two, it's going to be earnitall.com.
Okay.
We have the Earn It All Academy coming out, where we are teaching people everything about fitness, nutrition, mindset, especially how to earn your booze. And if they are into cannabis these days, which is a big growing trend, how you can stay healthy and still kind of enjoy those things in life.
Interesting. Yeah. Stay healthy and still get drugs. No, I'm just kidding.
Right?
No, cannabis has come a long way. So earnitall.com.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where we have our Freedom line. We have the Earn Your Booze line and a lot of new stuff coming.
Very cool. And so for people that want to like come to your events, are your events listed or do you have to follow you on social media? Or
right there on the website, or you
Okay.
can follow, Earn Your Booze on Instagram, or Justin J. Cross is mine on Instagram.
Okay.
But the website has everything, the Academy, events, apparel, all that.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Thank you so much for coming on.
You bet. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Patriot Barbie Podcast. Follow me on Truth Social at The Patriot Barbie and Instagram at the.patriot.barbie. Subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with your friends. You can find this show, my book Targeted, and my apparel line on www.patriotbarbie.com. God bless America and God bless you.
It's Dylan's KC Barbecue at 4 Valley locations. Our sports bar in Arrowhead is packed with TVs for the ultimate sports fan. Our Wildlife World Zoo location will have you on the edge of your seat, dining right next to our 60,000-gallon shark tank. Dylan's Bayou at Pleasant Harbor has never-ending sunsets, beautiful people, and live music every weekend. And our newest location, Western Trails Ranch, is 12 acres of rodeo fun and live outdoor concerts for the entire family. It's Dylan's KC Barbecue, where we're elite, unique, and memorable.